Is it audible, ma? Okay. In previous. Hello. Is it audible? Vinapardutunda?
Vinapardutunda.
And is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
No? Okay. Now, in previous classes, we have learned about what is PR and functions of PR. Now, we will discuss about role of PR in when a department during the crisis. It is otherwise called as crisis management. Okay. Public relations, role in crisis management or PR departments during crisis. What is crisis? Crisis means it is unexpected mishap. What is mishap? Uncomfortable or any accidents or any unwanted things, unexpected facts will happen. No, that is known as mishaps, and also called as crisis, problems. For departments or for any organizations, what are the different types of crises we will face? No, different types like financial crisis, natural calamities, natural crisis, some internal strikes, employee strikes. So those are the crises, and it also comes because of competition also. The outsiders also create some crisis to the different companies. So what is the role of PR then? Who is PR? Public relation officer. He or what she will do to get rid of that crisis, to solve that crisis. First, he or she should analyze what is the main crisis, how it happened, for who are the first affected people, what will be the solution. Okay, these are the functions he has to take. Immediately, he has to take actions against that crisis. He has to answer the media. First and foremost, who will come to ask all the details to the organizations? Media people will come, no? They will ask what happened, when happened, what is the solution for it, who are the affected, any fire accident happen in any organizations or any factories or any company, they have to call, no? The fire, fire engine people and everything to get solve the problem immediately. So like that, then media will come and coverage all the problem, how it happened, when it happened, how to solve the problem, who are the responsible for that, any compensations you are giving or not. So many they will ask. For that, the PR man, PR officer, the public relation officer should give the answers. He should not say nothing will happen. He should not hide any problem before the media. He has to reveal all the facts to the media. Otherwise, they will create by their own gossips or rumors. Public also create rumors, no? So he should not reveal he should not hide the fact. He should reveal each and every point to the media as well as internal and external public also. What their actions they are taking to come out of from that crisis, what type of insurance or anything they are giving. Hello. Okay, girls. Okay, students. Sorry. So first, what the media looks for, up to date, up to minute information they need to inform the public. No, that's why they ask everything. What happened when so many questions they put, so many questions they ask continuously. They will ask non-stoply. They will ask, everything. What happened when and how what are you doing now? Who are the affected people? Everything they will ask. So that you have to give every minute information to them. You means PR people and any casualties. What are the casualties? Emergencies. What happened? Any injuries happened due to this fire accident? Any uh, anybody hurt? Anybody died? How many death cases happened? Everything they will ask. So background of statistics, materials, everything we have to provide them. And actions, what the company is going to take action against this crisis, the PR people have to explain to the media. So what we should not do during the crisis, do not promise anything which is not within our limits, within our hands. We should not promise, no, we will give compensation that much amount. We will do so many, no, we should not promise which is not in our hands. And do not try to hide the facts. We should not hide the facts. We should reveal everything to them. And do not allow them to communication vacuum. Okay, and because if it is their vacuum, they will create gossips and rumors. Hello. అయ్యో నాకు ఇచ్చింది ఇదే కదా అగైనా Okay, students, some another teacher is joining with you. I'm leaving the meeting.
Good morning, students. Are you able to hear me? I have not connected my headphones here. Forgot. Okay. Hopefully you are able to hear me. Yes? Okay, somebody told me yes. Okay, now you are able to hear me. It is going on live. Okay, we have completed the theories of mass communication and the models of communication. Then we have unit unit 6. There you have mass communication's characteristics and its role in our society, and some more concepts are there, the functions of communication, etc., mass communication, and you also have the status of media industry in brief. There they have discussed about the introduction of print media, electronic media, radio, and the television, etc. So we'll go through that. Do you have books? If you have books, look at your unit 6. Otherwise, I will share my PPT. We'll see how I can share here. Share screen. This is unit 6. Okay. You are able to see this PPTs now? I'm not able to hear anything. Okay. Okay. Now you are able to see PPTs. So first thing, what is mass communication? Somebody must have already like what is the typology of communication, interpersonal communication, group communication, intrapersonal communication, mass communication, etc. So there you might have heard about the mass communication also. So mass communication is nothing but when we are disseminating information through the media channels to the masses or the large number of audiences, we call it as a mass communication. So here, if it is a interpersonal communication, like it is a more or less conversation between the two individuals where we discuss anything in a face-to-face manner. But if it is a mass communication, there is not an individual who is disseminating the information, but here there is something called mass media organizations. These mass media organizations are disseminating the information through the channels, what we call as the mass media, to the large number of audiences. So these large number of audiences are heterogeneous, anonymous to each other, and they are large. So infinity number of audiences are the one who are becoming part of the mass media audiences, and they consume the content from the mass media channels. So these mass media channels includes the newspapers, magazines, books. Along with that, we have radio stations and the television channels. Through all these channels of communication, generally, the mass media organizations are the one who are disseminating information for the public or the mass media audiences. So here, what is a medium? Medium is nothing but a channel through which we actually disseminate the information for the public. So medium is nothing but the carrier, which is the one carrying information from the source to the messages. Just now I said mass media are the channels of communication which are acting as the medias between the source, mass media organization, and the large number of audiences. So medium is the plural form of the media, where it includes all the channels of communication which would disseminate the information for the larger audience at the same time. So the internet is also becoming part of the mass mediums where we can disseminate the information for the larger audience. Okay, so here, using these newspapers or the television or radio and along with that the internet platforms, we are disseminating the information. But internet is not part of the mass communication because where we are, it is part of the interactive communication where we use ICT technologies or information and communication technologies to disseminate the information from the source to the receiver. So source might be an individual if it is a person who is using an internet or ICT technologies to disseminate the information. And at the other end, the receivers might be individuals or groups or maybe the masses to whom the message is delivered. But if it is like a television as mass communication, if you consider, the information is disseminated simultaneously for the audiences. And if you are missing a program through the mass media, etc., you miss the program. But with the advantage of there's ICT technologies, YouTube platforms, etc., you are maybe able to go back and watch the whatever the content which is transmitted through the television. But internet, where there is a possibility of the individuals, they can consume the content from using these internet platforms, etc., depending on their convenience. That we call it as a asynchronicity. That is the important characteristic of this ICT or interactive platforms when we are using for the dissemination of information. So here, then if you go to the next one, the mass media, like just now I said, mass media channels, we have the large number of channels, like when it comes to the private television networks, more than 900 channels are there. Apart from, including, that also includes more than 400 channels are exclusively, they transmit news for the public. Along with that, we have entertainment channels, and we also have radio stations, including the government All India Radio Network. Along with that, we also have private FM stations which are transmitting various programs for the audience. Along with that, we also have community radio stations which are exclusively run by the community members or NGOs, or else educational institutions that disseminates information for the target group. So community radio stations are the one which are exclusively transmit the content that is relevant for the public, for the end users or the target group. And most of the programming is also done by the community members who are becoming the part of the production. Those students would be the one who are producing the programs, and the other student community and the faculty and the other stakeholders of universities are the one who are receiving these platforms like community radio stations. So here, if you see the introduction of the media in India, James Augustus Hickey is the first person who launched his called January 1780. And if you see the Lumiere brothers, they are the one they screened movies in Bombay in the year 1895. That is the introduction of screening of the moving pictures in our country. And radio broadcasting services were inaugurated only during 1923 and 24. But IBC, the Indian Broadcasting Company, was formed with an agreement on July 23rd, 1927, and officially we consider that from 1927 onwards, the radio broadcasts were introduced in India. And you see the television was introduced in India only on September 15th, 1959. So if you see the role of mass media. Just now we said the mass communication, where we are using the mass media as the tools or the mediums of communication, where we disseminate the information for the larger audience, keeping view various needs of the public. So mass media is the institution or platform that can change in the society. For example, if you see the HIV/AIDS or eradication of sati, eradication of polio, or maybe changing the perceptions regarding men and children, etc., everything is possible because of the mass media disseminating that information. I don't know what is the problem here. Okay, so here again I need to share my screen, I believe. Okay. So here, mass media helps in changing the perceptions of stakeholders in the society, and it also maybe like COVID, during the COVID time, we have seen that the change regarding the perceptions regarding the COVID, etc. How vaccination helps in protecting the life of the people, or how wearing a mask. Like wearing a mask, in the previous class, I said that new innovations are disseminated through with the help of the mass media channels, and they play an important role in disseminating the information regarding various innovations in the society. It can be a product, etc. So the same way, mass media organizations helps in changing the perceptions of people regarding the various issues in a society. So if you see the eradication of sati practice, even though by law that is abolished, but even though if you want to change the perceptions of people, media platforms play an important role in changing the perceptions of people. So because of that, if you see the Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, or Tandukuri Veerashalingam Pantulu, all of them, they used various newspapers to disseminate the content for the larger audience. Voice is not clear. Maybe it is because of internet or something else. Okay. We'll see. Here I'm trying to mute my video so that it will stop consuming the internet. So here, just try to focus on maybe what we discuss here. Due to the internet, something else here. So mass media have the world into a smaller. It is bringing the people in the country very close. Like we call it as a global village. Media platforms disseminates the information, keeping in view the various needs of the public, which means it is the where we can consider the whole world as a village, and we can reach with our radio and television channels to the all these number of audiences. So like what we have satellite communication that is made possible because of the satellite communication only we are able to reach each and every corner of the world. So here the media institutions are reaching with the help of the satellite communication. And if you see the history, the satellite communication was only the site experiment was conducted only in 1975 and 76 to see how the television could reach the large number of audiences with the help of the satellite, and they started uplinking the programs through the satellite, and from there the local, the what you call this community television viewing sets, which were installed at various places like community halls and schools, where people used to receive the content from the television. So that from the beginning of 1975 onwards, satellite communication is helping in disseminating the information through the television and also the radio as the platforms of communication. So here, if you want to watch even a cricket match, like how even throughout the globe, the same kind of at the same time, people can consume the content which is transmitted by the television. So that is only made possible because of the satellite communication. So mass media also promotes the distribution of goods. Like in the previous class, I said, any new innovation that is disseminated among the members of the social system using all kinds of communication channels. So media is a platform where many commercials might be transmitted through the media networks. Along with that, media also informs the people about the various products and services which are launched for their own benefit. And here, the individuals would come to know about these innovations or the products and services which are offered by companies. And they may change the perceptions regarding those kind of products and services, and they may try to consume those products. So mass media channels persuades the audience directly or indirectly in consuming these, in purchasing or maybe accepting or adopting these kind of products and services. So here, mass media, if you see, there are various functions of mass communication in our society. So mass media is the only institution that disseminates information for the larger audience. So here the functions of communication, the mass media includes information, socialization, entertainment, political awareness, cultural transmission, catalyst to development, which means the media institutions also play an important role in promoting development within the society. So here, media is providing information for the public. So whatever is happening throughout the globe, so that information is disseminated for the public in the form of the news or information. So the news is how it is written. The news is written in inverted pyramid style of writing, and people try to consume the content from the mass media. So the most important information is presented in the beginning of a news story, and then when you go on, the least important information is presented at the bottom of the story, so that people will consume the content from the mass media channels like newspapers. So media disseminates a lot of information that is essential or important for the public in their day-to-day life. So media also promotes education. So with the help of printing various special educational supplements, along with that, media also transmits a lot of information which is related to education. So by transmitting these educational programs, media also promotes education in the society. And when it comes to the printing of special educational supplement that are for the benefit of the student community, a lot of content is made, which is the newspapers prints for the public or the student community. Like you have the regional newspapers, they have their own special pages to disseminate the educational content. Along with that, mainstream newspapers, the national newspapers, English dailies also provides supplements where exclusively these supplements are meant for the student communities. And the content which targets the students, it is maybe related to the question papers or the pattern of exam or the various subjects where the subject experts may provide a lot of information that is meant for the students and focusing. So when they read, they will come to know about the subjects, various subjects which are being maybe provided with the help of the supplements in the newspapers, etc. So here, socialization is also one of the function of the mass media, where people come to know, they learn the way the people behave in the society. So the behavioral changes will be brought out by the media while they present a lot of content. People come to know about the values in the society, the way they have to dress, the way they have to behave, or the way they have to act or react to certain situations. So people acquire those kind of knowledge when they watch the television programs or listen to the radio or when they read a lot of content which is presented through the magazines or the newspapers, etc. So not only we, but our elders in the society also, they might have been paying attention to the mass media channels, and from them we also acquire that knowledge. So which means somewhere or the other, these mass media platforms will disseminate the information and we quickly consume that information and we learn the way of living in a society, the way we have to live in that society. And media provides a lot of entertainment also. Media provides amusement, relaxation, and it also provides diversion in the form of features, providing all kinds of music, and people are very attracted to the soap operas which are being transmitted. And from the beginning, if you see, the Doordarshan used to transmit these, started transmitting these serials or soap operas, what we call. Hum Log was the first serial that was transmitted through the television, Doordarshan network. And also, along with the soap operas, films and the game shows, comedy shows and fashion shows, and all of that, the news, all this is providing the people a kind of diversion or relaxation, what we call amusement. And when they are bored with their day-to-day working of lifestyles, etc., they may be bored with their day-to-day works. And when they need relaxation and amusement, diversion from those issues, etc., people most of the time depend on these mass media platforms to get entertainment. And then it also be when they are consuming a lot of content, it might affect their health. Along with that, people also learned something called withdrawal when they want to avoid speaking with the other persons or people those who are coming into their houses, etc. They started, they will be in their own world, watching their television programs or reading their books or the newspapers, etc. And for the withdrawal purpose also, people use this mass media as the platforms, as the channels of communication. And political function, like political news is something which we consider as important hard news. So we do have hard news and soft news. Soft news is characterized based on the soft news. We can transmit or we can publish that information in the newspaper at any point of time. But hard news is something which we considered as the most important news, and that we have to print or disseminate on a timely basis. So once you want to print this hard news in the next day's newspaper, or you want to transmit later on, etc., that will not have any value for the public. So here, the political news constitutes a lot of program making of the news channels and here mass media formulates the public opinion. So public opinion regarding the politics or political system in the country, or it also acts as the media institutions also acts as the watchdog of the democracy, and it will try to bring a kind of transparency among the working of the political system. So when something happens in the political system or the government, etc., the media is the one which provides that information for the public. So the government is, as it is accountable to the public, they might also be feared of the media institutions if they do something wrong, etc. And here, the media institution is considered as the fourth estate, along with the legislature, judiciary, and administration. When it comes to the cultural transmission, is one of the functions of the mass media, where it promotes the culture and traditions of one society from the other generation of people, or from one individual to the other individual, or from members of a society to the newcomer, etc. So India, like if you see India is having a diverse cultures and people practice different religions, etc. And all these traditions, customs, and cultures of India are transmitted through the media platforms. Okay, so cultural transmission is nothing but the transmission of culture, where the mass media is something which is promoting this culture from past to the present and present to the future generations. If you see the classification of the media, the mass media is classified based on the physical form, whether it is printed or technology, where it is involved, how the transmission happens, etc. Based on that, the media institutions are categorized like print media, electronic media, and new media. So when it comes to the print media includes the newspapers, magazines, and periodicals, along with that books. So newspaper is a mass medium. It also influences the people significantly on various issues. And media, these newspapers presents the news, what is happening throughout the globe, like north, east, west, and south. It also presents the futures, which provide some kind of entertainment for the public. And also it presents the news articles where people come to know about the issues in depth, as the news articles will provide different viewpoints of a particular subject, and columns, editorials. Editorials are most of the time presents the viewpoint of that particular publication, and columns where the specialists write the columns on various issues, and cartoons on day-to-day happenings. Based on that, they will provide the cartoons which will also look like humorous, or they add some kind of satire, etc. And the graphics, to make the people understand what is presented through the newspapers, they also use graphics, and photographs also becoming part of the news, where the pictures would be used to break the monotony of the content which is going to be provided for the public. Along with that, a photograph may speak more than what you publish the news in the form of words. So the news, views, advertisements are the three kinds of content which we disseminate through the newspapers and also the magazines. So again, depending on the periodicity, we have daily newspapers, weekly newspapers, and also monthly, depending on the periodicity or when they publish the information. And here, the major advantage of print media is if we need, we can preserve the copies or we can preserve the clippings related to different issues which are printed in the newspapers. And when you want to consume this print media or if you want to purchase the newspaper, etc., then you can purchase with the low cost and the production cost might be more, but the how you get the cost of the newspaper like 5 rupees, etc., that is easily affordable to a person. But the only disadvantage of this newspapers or the print media is that only literates can read the newspapers. Okay. Then if you see the magazines, that is also part of the print media. Magazine is originally derived from a French word, and the first magazine which was considered as is a review, which was printed in 1704 by Daniel Defoe. Then we have in the year 1709, Tatler, that was published by Richard Steele. It was published. But the Spectator is published by Joseph Addison of England in the year 1711, is considered as the first magazine in English. So magazines, based on what they cover, we do have different kinds of magazines like news magazines, sports magazines, religious magazines, films magazine, and also we have general interest magazines where all kinds of issues will be presented for the public. So magazines can cover the current affairs, business, women, children, finance, gadgets, photography, science and technology, education, career, health, lifestyle, beauty, luxury, fashion, environment, and travel. So all this content, again, exclusively, we may have magazines which are printed for the benefit of the specialized audience like women's magazines, which are meant for the women readers, children's magazines, which are meant for the children. We do have fashion magazines exclusively presents fashion, beauty, lifestyle, etc. We have environmental magazines, and we also have magazines which are maybe focusing on education for the students, etc. So even we also have business magazines. So what they present, based on that, we have general interest magazines. Everything will be provided for the general audience. And news magazines exclusively, they present news articles, news related content, and current issues, what is happening in each of the area, etc. Sports magazine would cover exclusively the sports personalities and games, etc. Religious magazines, most of the time these religious magazines, as India is secular country, religious magazines, if they want to promote their religion, etc., that might not permission if people to read those kind of magazines. They can print those magazines, but when it comes to the dissemination, then it depends on the individuals, those for whom it is meant, and how they disseminate that information. When it comes to the film magazines, exclusively it presents film personalities, their life, what is happening in the film industry, related to the awards, maybe the events, pre-release events or success meets, or maybe audio launching, or launching of the films, etc. All that information would be provided in this film magazines. When it comes to the books also, the books, depending on the kind, maybe the books may disseminate a lot of different kinds of content for the public. What the first book in India which we consider is the Spiritual Compendium of the Christian Life. It is a religious magazine printed in the year 1561. Then the first one in the Malayalam is Sankshepa Vedartham, that was printed in 1772. Then if you see the electronic media where we have film, radio and television, all these three would become part of the electronic media. And here, Lumiere brothers, in the beginning also I said that Lumiere brothers screened people moving pictures in 1895 in Bombay. It was a 1.5 minute film where they screened where people coming from a factory during the lunch break, that they transmitted as a moving pictures, and later on it became a cinema. It is like a form of what we call the film. Then Raja Harishchandra, we considered it as the first feature film that is made on our Indian soil, that is directed by Dudiraj Govind Palke or Dada Saheb Palke. It was released in the year 1913. It was based on the story of Raja Harishchandra. And Vigata Kumaran, The Last Child, it was directed by J.C. Daniel, is considered as the first film in Malayalam. But before Raja Harishchandra also there were films which were being produced in our country, but they were produced and produced by people not from India, and some people produced, the Indian people produced, but the cinematography, the camera, etc. was maybe the camera person was not from India. Because of that, Raja Harishchandra is the one which we consider as a first Indian film. When it comes to the radio, Marconi is the one who invented the radio, and the Radio Club of Bombay, that was the first one where it started transmitting the program. So from June 1923. And later, the IBC was formed, Indian Broadcasting Company was formed in the year 1927, and that used to transmit the programs. But due to the financial difficulties, again, the IBC went into liquidation, and later in the year 1930, the British government took over they renamed it as the ISBS, Indian State Broadcasting Service. And in the year 1935, the Lionel Fielden, he became the first controller of the broadcasting in India, and he's the one who persuaded at that time the Viceroy, Lord Viceroy, to adopt the name of All India Radio to the Radio Broadcasting Service. And the radio, for the on-air service of the All India Radio, the Akashvani name was adopted in the year 1956. The Akashvani name was coined by M.V. Gopalaswamy, and that was adopted in the year 1956 for the on-air service of All India Radio from 1956. So here, when it comes to the television was introduced in India on September 15th, 1959. Earlier, before the TV was introduced, people were feared about maybe the television would promote consumerism among the people, and it might alienate the people from their grassroots, their traditional cultures, etc. And along with that, television was considered as a luxury thing. But the radio was considered as a tool of development during those days. And because of that, the television was not introduced so early, but finally, on September 15, 1959, the television service was introduced in India that was named as Doordarshan. In Hindi, it is, if you see, it is called as Doordarshan, which means distant vision. From the in the AR's building, there a television station was set up, and they started transmitting the programs. So the television was inaugurated by the then President of India on September 15th, 1959. And when it comes to the color television, in the year 1982, the 9th Asian Games, which were held in Delhi, were transmitted in color. And when it comes to the live television transmission, that was happened from 1982 onwards. And here, Srimati Indira Gandhi, at that time, she was the Prime Minister of India. The speech of Srimati Indira Gandhi, which was the speech of Mrs. Gandhi during the Independence Day celebrations in the year 1982, was transmitted in color, along with that in live. So here, later on, if you see the major experiments which were conducted in television was site experiment, satellite television satellite instructional television experiment that was carried out from 1975 to 76, where they used satellite as the satellite to transmit the programs for the audience. They used to uplink the programs and downlink the programs. And later, there was one of the other project which was conducted by the Doordarshan network is Kheda communication project, where they also used the satellite communication for the purpose of transmitting the programs for people who were there in Kheda district of Gujarat, where people used to participate in the program production, and they also used to be there on the production side. They acted as the talent in those television programs, and they used to produce the programs for their own benefit, and people used to receive those programs. And the popular programs of the Kheda communication project were Nari to Narayani and Vice Elder. So these are the two programs which were successfully transmitted through the Kheda communication project. But the Doordarshan and the All India Radio were till 1997, they were part of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. But after the Prasar Bharati organization came to existence in the year 1997, both Doordarshan and All India Radio became part of the Prasar Bharati organization. And now Prasar Bharati is the organization which is a public broadcaster in our country that owns both All India Radio and Doordarshan. When it comes to the new media, it is also a medium where we consider it as interactive media. The invention of internet and World Wide Web that made possible, and it changed the way the mass communication is to delivered for the public. And with the help of emails, websites, podcasting, ebooks, blogging, e-journals, social networking sites, internet protocol television and internet radio, etc., we are able to send the content to the masses. So here, where the production and transmission, receiving and sending of communications happens with the help of the internet and World Wide Web. So here, social networking is where we can connect the individuals throughout the globe, like with the help of the Facebook, Twitter, Orkut, then maybe Instagram and other Telegram, WhatsApp, etc. With the help of all these communication platforms, we are able to send content to the larger audience, and we are also able to receive the content from the other individuals. If you see the media scene in India at present, if you see as of March 31st, 2021, according to the Registrar of Newspapers for India, we have more than 1,44 publications that are registered with RNI, and when it comes to the satellite channels, more than 1,600 television channels are there, and we have more than 400 are news channels. When you see the status of print media, according to the readership survey, the readership last survey was conducted only in the year 2019. According to the IRS survey of 2019, the Dainik Jagan is the largest read newspaper in our country, followed by Dainik Bhaskar, that is the second largest read newspaper, followed by Hindustan, Amar Ujala, Malayalam Manorama, Daily Santri, Lokmat, Rajasthan Patrika, and Times of India, Mathrubhumi. The Times of India is stood as the #1 read English newspaper in our country. And when if you see in Telangana, when it comes to the regional newspapers, Eenadu stands for, followed by Sakshi and Andhra Jyoti, later on Namaste Telangana. In Andhra Pradesh, we have Eenadu, again it stands first, the largest read Telugu newspaper, followed by Sakshi and Andhra Jyoti. When it comes to the readership of magazines, India Today English stands first when it comes to the largest read magazine, followed by India Today. The print media history. As part of your 9th or 10th unit, you also have again the history of print media, history of magazines, etc. There we will discuss about the history of media industry. When it comes to the status of radio broadcasting in our country, as of June 2022, there are more than 388 operational private television stations are there in our country. When it comes to the government-owned All India Radio, we have 479 FM stations which are transmitting programs for the audience in our country. The All India Radio covers 92% of the area and 99% of the total population in our country. According to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, as of December 14th, 2022, there are 394 functional community radio stations are there in our country. The part we will discuss in the next class. All this is relates to our history. As part of next unit, the status of regional media, we also have the status of print, etc. Where discuss this the status of radio and also the history. Okay. I'm leaving. Yeah, if the is not so clear, we'll see I have history of the print, television and radio in one of my YouTube channels, and along with that, these lessons previously when we had classes during the COVID time, we used to have all those lessons were recorded in YouTube, your Ambedkar University YouTube platform, or maybe BRAOU of hyphen live 9 channel. So if you need, again, you can go back and the classes where the content is transmitted. Otherwise, just see other platforms. We'll have class tomorrow at 10:30. We will continue the class, maybe that is unit number 8, 9 or 10 we have. What is journalism? Different kinds of journalism what we have. Okay. Thank you.